Hey guys, JJ here with SNU Innovative Conditioning. Going to talk to you today about squat mobility. Now, bar any injury or pre-existing condition in the structures involved in the squat, getting into a deep squat is a very healthy and functional position to be into. So today I wanted to go over some of the common restrictions that prevent you from getting in a proper bottom position of that squat. All right, so first let's go over what that bottom position should ideally look like. All right, I'm gonna have more squat down. So we should be able to get into this position right here with the hip below the knee, feet are nice and flat on the floor, and her back is neutral. All right, so let's start at the floor with the ankle. If you're one of those people who gets to a certain part of the squat and you find you're coming up on your toes, a lot of times that's a lack of what's called dorsiflexion, or the ability to bring the toes close to the shin. Right? So a good test is to set up here in front of the rig or a wall. You want your toes about 4 inches away from the wall. And you should be able to keep your foot flat and have your knee touch. All right, so if you weren't able to touch the wall on that last test, this is one of the things that you can do. All right, we're gonna anchor a band nice and low. I'm gonna elevate the foot. I'm gonna get this band nice and low on the foot. All right, now we don't wanna be up here on the ankle. You wanna feel for the bottom of this shin bone, and we're gonna anchor the band just below that. From there, she's gonna try again, keeping her heel flat on the floor. She's gonna put both of her hands on her knees and mobilize it back and forth. So the next restriction is gonna be tightness in that high hip. Now, tightness here is gonna limit what's called external rotation of the thigh bone or the femur. Right? Now those thigh bones need to be able to get out of the way so your hips can drive straight down into that bottom position. So we should have about 40 to 60 degrees of external rotation in the hip. Right? If we don't, this could be limiting your squat depth. So one of the ways to clean up that high outer hip area is with a banded distraction. So we're going to anchor the band low. She's going to get the band up high on that hip. Right? She's going to angle herself about 45 degrees. You want that band pulling back and off to the side a little bit. Right? She's going to load up a bunch of tension, drop down to one knee, and just floss back and forth. So another common issue is tight hip flexors. Now, those are the muscles in the front of the hip that help bring the knee upwards. All right? Now, if your hip flexors are tight, what will tend to happen is you'll have this kind of tilt, what we call anterior tilt to the hips. Right? Now again, this is going to limit your squat. So if you are stuck in this position, and Mara could get you to squat, right? What will tend to happen is you'll pitch forward, putting a lot of strain on the low back under load. All right, so this is the Thomas test. This is a common orthopedic test to kind of test for tightness in the hip flexors. All right, so what I'm gonna have is Mar right off to the edge of the bench. Right? I'm gonna have her hold this knee right close to you, and what I'm looking for is to see if she can get to the level of the bench or lower. All right, so if she wasn't able to get her thigh below the table, a good way to open that part up is the couch stretch. Right? So she's gonna have her foot up on the bench here, her knee down, right? And what she's gonna do is squeeze the glute of the leg that's down, ensure that she's not extending through the low back. So let's lock your rib cage down a little bit, right? And push the hip forward. All right, so try these out to ensure that you have the adequate range of motion to perform a proper squat and keep you in the gym injury-free and training hard.